The Tower Heroes Honeycomb Heist update is going to be releasing sometime within the next, week to 3 weeks. It's probably not going to be, just before Easter. They also just have, I think everything done by now. Yeah, I guess I'll show the leaks for it, but there's also just, a really big problem that I just really want to talk about for a bit, not gonna lie. So we all know Tower Heroes has an exclusivity problem. Their view on making their game good is to make exclusive skins, exclusive followers, exclusive maps, where you can only play the show, every month out of the year. And it's man. But with stuff like revamps, it's things that never come back. Well, sure, you can probably still play the original maps with a modifier. You're not going to be able to get those skins ever again. Well, unless it's Volcano Valley, which is getting mimicked soon, and I don't believe any of the other maps that have had revamps, had, entirely new skins made for them. So, let's just talk about the leaks for the update first. Starting with the Baby Bee. This is the Baby Bee enemy. It's not going to be the Beatrice Tower, just because it's an enemy, so. Second, we have the Honeycomb Bite skin revamp. Look at that, it's got 2 faces. Of course, you saw it in the intro, it's coming this month. Not probably late on, because next month's April, and an April Fool's update wouldn't work on any day other than April 1st, so yeah, it's probably going to be within the next week or two. I'd say next weekend after that, maybe. That's what's most likely, but, The map has already been teased, and its layout is going to be essentially the same via the icon in that one UGC thing they did. Hey, we got a teaser of the map, but it's really blurred. Of course, the music leak, I don't want to play it because it'll take too much time. So if you want to hear it, I've already made another video about this update the other day, covering all the leaks at the time. The royalty theme has also been dropped entirely for Beatrice, which is good. So that's all the leaks. Now let's talk about the thing I really wanted to make this video for. What could go wrong and what could go right? Now this is what the update is more likely to be, and also just gonna be really awful. The update is probably just gonna be the exact same thing. We've already seen the exact skins, the exact tower, the exact map. It's just going to be that with a different coat of paint. So it's just going to be the same thing. The enemies are likely going to be the same, just remodeled as well. Hopefully they don't go in that direction, so it's actually different and funner, because Honeycomb Heist sucks. There's going to be no real changes to the map other than how it looks. And what's going to really suck about that is that since this is the more likely one, everyone who already got everything, the Mimic, Beatrice, the skins, are gonna lose them. Now, all you're gonna be...
Volcano Valley! If you had them, you could have the original skins as well.
Wrong! Volcano Valley, the skins are actually going to be returning in a Mimic sometime this year-ish. I don't know, Smelly said soon a few months ago. But because of the original creator of those skins, Beatrice, the map, they aren't really a good person, and it's pretty good that they've been fired and that this is being replaced now. So those skins are probably just going to be removed, and the only thing that would make sense if they're removed is that the people who already had them get compensation, aka the new skins. Now you can argue, oh sure, well they're not really gonna have a motive to play the update. True, but it's also just really good to have, because if you were to get a really rare Mimic and the skin on that just so happened to have been by a bad person, and in a while they replace it, and then you just lose it, that would just be really demotivating. Take example, what's a fan map? Creepy Carnival. What if the guy who made that, Icy, or whatever his name was, what if he was a bad person? Would everyone who just had the skins just lose it? Will they have to do all that work all over again? And it's especially a problem with Honeycomb Heist, when it's just going to be the same skins with different things. Why would you want 2 skins that are the same if they're not being deleted? So, yes, they're probably going to be deleted. So, would you just not be allowed to get compensation or anything? It just makes 0 sense, what their idea is. Honestly, I don't think anybody would want the pedophile Mimic if they were to put in one, so... But here is where they could go right with the update. Make it actually enjoyable instead of, oh, you had this, you already beat it, alright, so we're gonna scrub every progress you had on that, and here's the same thing with coat of paint, and you have to work for it again. Bye for another 2 months. So what can go right with this is, 1, it's actually different. Sure, they could probably change the path a tiny bit. The one on the original map is kind of just unbearable. So, well, yeah, they could do that. But the enemies, instead of just being reskins, they're new enemies. Baby B was, I don't believe Baby B was an enemy on the original map, so this is probably the direction they're headed with the enemies. So maybe they're removing drone bees, or caster bees as well. Maybe those big dumb golems. Which, like, that's a good thing, right? But at the same time, the followers are probably just going to be replaced. It's all just probably just replacing everything. Not anything new, just replacing it. Something that would also be good to add to the map is the Bee Queen gets like an ability or something. Maybe the Bee Queen can just like, I don't know, give some of your towers the honey effect, you know, the one that stuns them and all. That would be cool. That's a good thing to add. Beatrice gets a new gameplay style and isn't the one tower we get a year because we can't have anything good now. Remember when they put 4 towers within the span of like 3 months? Trust me, they got plenty of ideas. Just look at all these skins with entirely new characters. So Beatrice could just be like a good tower, not just, hey, it's Haze, but he's all year round and also fucking sucks. Actually, no, Beatrice can be a little good if you know how to use her, I guess. So. But Beatrice is just like not that good. So maybe a nerf or a buff or anything. Just not keep her the same because it would essentially just be a skin. Nobody likes that. And of course, they're probably going to be changing the Ice Bee skin upon release as well. And lastly, the people who've beaten it before should get the badges and skins immediately. Because if you're going to be replacing something that people like worked really hard to get, like the Mimic, which is confirmed to be replaced, are you going to give it to that guy who worked really hard to get it? No, of course they won't. And just like, man, why must you make it so hard to enjoy your game? Because yes, the original skins are probably gonna be deleted. Why? Because they're made by pedophiles. Like Volcano Valley, as we mentioned earlier, their original skins are gonna be in a Mimic. Honeycomb Heist already has a Mimic, and the skins are probably gonna be deleted. The people who had to beat the original one to get Beatrice, are they gonna have to do it again? Probably. Like, remember how with Volcano Valley, you got Fracture from that map, then they changed it? And guess what? You still had Fracture. Woohoo! That was a good change. So with this, hopefully, they at least give you Beatrice at the very least, alright? That's all that matters. At the end of the day, it's just like, exclusivity is one of the major problems with the game. But with everything having revamps now, it's just like really demotivating because it's something we've already had. Instead of trying to relish in the past, I'm like, this looks somewhat outdated. Yeah, let's change Lemonade Cat, but only in certain renders now. Why'd they do that, by the way? Instead of that, they should be, you know, making new stuff. New things people can actually enjoy without being like, oh, so you're just gonna take everything I had away? Very good game.
Anyway, lesson of the video, don't delete people's shit expecting them to play your stuff again. Fix your stuff, and then delete their shit. I'm kidding.